Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Robocraft with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to Factory Fun, the series in which you tell me which bots to try out from the community factory, and I do so, to the very best of my ability, giving my honest first impressions, and rating the bot out of 5, along with purchasing it with Galaxy Cash, to give a little bit back to the people who send in their bots for testing. And today's episode will be focused around the DSS Corruptor. Now, the one thing I will say is that this bot has several variations currently on the factory, in the form of Corruptor, Skippy, another Corruptor, and a Feeder. So we have the medic variety, and the others are SMGs of different types. So I'm just going to be testing out this one. It seems to be the most bulky of them all, and somewhere in the middle of ranking, so I think it's the best to try out. This is a new way to fly. Introducing the DSS Flyers, with all rudders and thrusters packed into a sturdy frame and shields to cover it all up. So essentially, what they've done is got the rudders and I think those two are aerofoils, and had the horizontal ones flipped vertically and the vertical ones kept normally, thus enabling it all to stay in one small area. So I have actually seen flyers like this in the past, but I've never tested one out. So this is going to be a bit of a weird one, I feel. So we're going to quickly test it in the test mode before we get into a battle, just to make sure I know what I'm doing. So after a quick test, I can safely say this thing handles and feels a lot like the original thruster sticks, the ones created once the aerofoils and such were first introduced, before they started being built vertically and then all sorts of different varieties were created. So it's not very difficult to grasp. It's a little bit weird, it must be said, but it is fairly quick, and it's not overly complex in terms of getting used to it. So I feel like after the first match or two, we should be absolutely fine. So with that said, let's get into the first battle. The first battle begins. Okay, the enemy have 4 plasma bombers and 1 interceptor, so our eyes will be firmly stuck on the skies for this entire battle, most likely. There's one of our bombers, a little bit stuck. Hopefully he'll be able to get up in the air in a second. Now, the enemy do have railguns as well, so we do have to be a little bit careful. There we are. A little bit of damage done to him. I am actually going for the other guy who's targeting our ground forces, so I'm just going to continue forwards. Oh, the enemy interceptor has found us. Bit of burst fire. Let's see if we can engage him. There we are. Oh, we have lost our front, we've lost our front, that has ooh, yeah, our pitch is very much tied to the front of our craft, it seems, okay. Not a complete loss of control there, but it has slowed us down significantly. Actually, no, yeah, it has slowed us down, not as much as I first thought it had, though. Let's wait until we get a regen. This thing handles a lot better than I first thought it would, honestly, so I'm very happy with that. Oh, SMG there. Don't really know why I'm doing this, it's a little bit silly. He will win one-on-one most likely, but let's see if we can do some damage and duck away. Well done shield placement, completely defended us there. Let's go around the corner. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, I will say this thing is very fun to fly. It's not boring in the slightest, this is really nice. So 10 points for actually feel of the craft. Yeah, overall, very positive start. Plasma bomber trying to kill one of ours. Let's see if we can interrupt him. Yes, we can indeed. I said it with a little bit too much gusto there. Yes, kill them all. Oh. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, this thing does not... There we go. This thing does not glide. It's basically a thruster stick, honestly. It is essentially a thruster stick in everything except for... Well... It isn't. It's like a halfway thruster stick. It's like someone tried to build a thruster stick, then halfway decided against it. Oh, yeah, let's go for the tank. The plasma bomber is much more a... There we go, a lesser threat. He's the last one left. If some of our guys start capping, we'll win very soon. Oh, there we are on the floor. I have to keep in mind this thing does not glide, and it's something which I'm not used to, so I will be hitting the floor a few times. I would like the turn to be a little bit quicker. Maybe a bit of helium would actually do really well with this thing, I feel. that was really fun. Okay, yeah, that was really, really fun. So if you're looking for something just for fun, I can't recommend it enough. That was really enjoyable. Like I say, it handles like the early thruster sticks before people went mental and built the ultimate ones you see now. Well, you don't see it as much anymore, which you saw in previous patches more, but even so, it does feel a lot like those if anyone's used to those. Combat, I'll say a 4. Style, yeah, I'll say 4 for both. In combat, it did deflect a lot of damage at one point, but at another, I lost almost all of our pitch because one specific area got damaged. But of course, we are in the lower ranking, so it is more difficult to add redundancy here. So, combat would be, yeah, I'd say a solid 4. Style, also a solid 4. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it does have a certain charm to it, being so compact and being so small. So, let's just get into another battle. A small correction from something I said earlier, there is indeed helium in this craft, although I still think a little bit more would help. So, for people who don't know how thruster sticks are created, and I'm not exactly an expert on this, but I know enough to at least speak about it, they do have helium, at least the majority of them do have helium, generally in one place, so one location of the bot is always trying to raise to the top. This aids with control significantly, although there are several designs which don't use helium, and there are so many variations at this point, I couldn't really speak about all of them. But what I would think is a little bit more helium would probably help out a lot with this craft, as it does fall a little bit too fast. Normally, you do have a few seconds in the air if your thrusters turn off, even though you are meant to keep on your thrusters, but because of the weight of this craft and the lack of helium, this thing falls very quickly, as none of the actual aerofoils or rudders are aiding in its floating, in its gliding down to the surface rather than simply plummeting. Well then, this looks rather horrible. We have an enemy interceptor, 3 enemy SMG ground units, and 3 rails. This is not going to go overly well, I feel. On the upside, we have a 1-up mushroom, so you know if we die, we have an extra life and stuff. Oh well, here we go. I'm just going to be really aggressive. Let's see if I can surprise the rails. I think hanging back won't really work this time, so we are now a ground unit. Actually, shooting forwards whilst in kind of like the ski mode seems to work absolutely fine, so perhaps I'll be doing that in the future just to get around things. There we are, spotted a couple of theirs, one of them, no, both of them being rails. No one in the air nearby. This thing works really well as a ski. That's surprising, actually. Their interceptor seems to have mech legs. I'm not going to question it, I'm just gonna get the free kill. I have no shame. That was fine by me. There's one of their rails. We are now grounded. I don't know why, but I'm going to try and spend the rest of this match grounded. It works as a rather nice ski, honestly. Oop. Try not to get the attention of their SMG. Just pick away at this little rail here, and then we'll fly off afterwards. So when I said the entire match, I meant until it became inconvenient. Come on! Oh, this thing has so much CPU! Die! Please, just die! Rail, 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 rail. Oh, 2 rails. Can't actually fly right now, so we are being forced to staying as a ski. Hello! I could have tried to run and heal, but honestly I want to see if I can get some revenge. Should have gone for the gun, for some reason I went for the movement and the shields. Not sure why I was aiming at the shields there, they're just so pretty and green! Also, of course my control's inverted, I'm upside down. I was about to be surprised about that. Oh. Well, now I'm buggered. Oh, I have no control! Excuse me, thank you. Excuse me, thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I'm still upside down. I didn't realise I was still upside down. No! Medic, bugger off. Oh, if I didn't have the other SMG at me, I could have probably got the kill there, but no, sadly not. That was a curious battle. Let's just say that was a very curious battle. With a few very bad decisions being made on my part. a lot of plasma in this battle, so either we are going to be obliterated very quickly, or we're not even going to be hit. Here's hoping more of the latter. They have one SMG on the ground and one rail. All the rest are plasma, which is kind of amazing, honestly. And I think our team was something similar. Yes, indeed, lots of plasmas on both sides. Whoever has the most bombers is going to have a much better time than the other team. Oh, there we go. Let's see if we can do a bit of damage to this guy. There he goes. From the heavens you descend! And I'm going to crash right next to you and take a plasma to the face, aren't I? Hello! Well, I took a plasma to the face, but not from the source I was expecting. Okay. Oh yeah, that isn't here anymore. The little crevasse, or whatever you want to call it. Crevice, or gappy thing. Stone gap. Stone gap seems like a reasonable term to use here. Well, he's down for the count, at least for a little while. Let's go for someone who's actually hurting our team. No hurting our ground forces, we don't have many of them. That's a pretty copter. Ooh, my controls are ever so funny there. I'm not sure if I hit something without noticing. No, it wasn't the first time I hit the rock. Was that the rudder bug? No, the rudder bug's been removed. There we go. Didn't get the kill, sadly, but at least we got some CPU damage done. And there's a plasma bomber heading around the corner to finish off our rail, sadly. But I really want to get that heal done, because right now my controls are buggered up royally. Is that the starter bot? I shouldn't be against the starter bot, should I? This is a it's a 4,000 ranking bot. Once more, I am a sled! Maybe lining up would have done a bit better there a bit earlier. The sooner you get away from the sky, the better. And that's why we've lost our entire front section. Can we still fly? Surprisingly well. Oh, because we've still got the two upwards thrusters. Okay. We've still got even thrust on the front, which means our pitching isn't at all affected. Okay, try again. Stopping a little bit early from the heel there, just so we get the first bit of damage. We took the plasma quite well. And there goes he, and he is destroyed. Excellent. Not the best play by me there in terms of being an interceptor, but it got the job done, and that was the important thing. The final battle begins. Both teams have a lot in the air, so this should be quite fun, a bit like the last one. But hopefully we won't be hit repeatedly by plasma by staying as close as possible to the bomber in question. There we are. Already doing a little bit of damage, aren't we, a special cupcake, muffin, bagel, potato? Ooh, you are... Oh, I thought you were a target. Nope, you are in fact a mushroom, a power mushroom. Excellent. We've already had the 1-up earlier, now we've had that. Although I'm not sure if that actually ended up in the video. If not, there is a 1-up mushroom, yay! That looks like the original flank. What the... Potato? Screw you, rail! It'd be great if I actually knew where that rail line was coming from, so I could have dodged a bit better, but apparently, just out of luck, I managed to dodge it anyway. Die, original flank lookalike. Jeez, you really look like the original, like, the original one of my flyers. That's bizarre. Oop, what the hell happened to my controls there? Rudders, function normally. Yay, we hit it. We're special. I've been really lucky in this match when no one's killed me. I've been out in the open almost the entire match. Hello! I'm a sled now. There's an interceptor. Hasn't seen us, thankfully. Can we take out the skies? That would be good. Oh, he's got the little propeller thing going on. That's awesome. Wow, this thing cannot go very high before he hits the ceiling. Can we actually... There we go. Ow. More ow. Get out of my skies! Yay! We win! That was a nice last match, even if I got completely hung up on the simple fact that one flyer looked like an original one of my flyers. That really threw me for some reason. I'm just easily distracted, it seems. Final thoughts of the craft then. Ultimately, I found it a joy to use. It was very, very fun to use and made for some interesting battles. I would say a little bit more helium on the front and a bit more dedication to being a true interceptor, a true flyer, wouldn't go amiss. It would make this infinitely easier to use and would probably make it a little bit better in terms of turning. I will also say that controlling it is a lot easier than I made it look. I've had limited experience both in the modern type of thruster sticks and the old type of thruster sticks, and so I got used to it fairly quick, but I think people with more experience of that would get used to it instantly. It is very different to using a regular flyer, that much for sure, and the lack of the hover ability is very disconcerting if you haven't used it before. So no gliding, no hovering, it's just going straight to the floor if you don't hold down thrust, which I'm not used to. So a lot of the problems we've seen is simply user error as someone who's not used to this type of bot. It was a lot sturdier than I expected. I expected this to be a lot more frail, and only on a few cases did I notice the bot getting crippled a little bit too easily. Most of the time it took a fair bit of damage without major issue, so yeah, somewhere between 3.5 and 4 for combat, and I'm still sticking with somewhere, again, between 3.5 and 4 for style, because I just like the look of the thing. Just personal opinion there, I suppose. It's all down to our own opinions when it comes to style, and I like this one quite a bit. So, I've had a lot of fun with this one, and of course, if you would like to see your bot tested out on Factory Fun, then please, in the comments below, leave your username, the robot's name, what type of bot it is, and any information which you may think is pertinent, things like the ranking or anything else you can think of. The more information, the higher chance it will be selected, although there is a bit of randomization there as well. Essentially, I select a load of ones which I like the sound of, I put it into a hat, and then I choose the one, although in this case it's a virtual randomizer. You get the general gist though. So, thank you again for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Factory Fun and Robocraft are series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you again for watching, have a lovely day, and enjoy the rest of your holidays. Goodbye.